Your body physically cannot burn belly fat while insulin is elevated. It doesn't matter how many calories you cut, that gate stays locked. And here's the problem. 57% of North American calories come from ultra-processed food, and most people eat from morning to night, keeping insulin elevated around the clock. Intermittent fasting doesn't work because you eat less. It works because of what happens when you stop. Belly fat isn't just a cosmetic problem. It is a high-risk organ hiding in plain sight. Deep inside the abdomen, wrapped around vital organs like the liver and pancreas, sits visceral fat. Unlike the pinchable fat just under the skin, this type is metabolically active. It doesn't just store calories, it constantly releases fatty acids and inflammatory chemicals straight into the bloodstream. That cocktail quietly raises blood pressure, cholesterol, and even blood sugar, setting the stage for heart attacks and diabetes. Most people don't realize this, but a simple tape measure can reveal the danger. For men, a waist over 102 centimeters, about 40 inches, signals a sharp jump in risk. For women, the threshold is 88 centimeters, or roughly 35 inches. Cross that line, and the odds of heart disease climb by about 30%. These aren't just numbers, they're a warning light from your body's control panel. Here is where it gets interesting. Visceral fat is stubborn. It is packed with insulin receptors, making it especially sensitive to the hormone that locks fat away for storage. That's why cutting calories or doing endless crunches often feels pointless. The real threat isn't what is visible in the mirror, it's the fat you can't see, quietly fueling inflammation and insulin resistance every single day. Recognizing this risk doesn't just change how we think about belly fat, it makes finding a better strategy urgent. Walk into any grocery store, and you are surrounded by a wall of ultra-processed foods. In the United States and Canada, adults now get about 57% of their daily calories from these quick packaged options. It is not just chips and soda, think grab-and-go breakfast bars, sweetened yogurts, and frozen dinners. These foods are engineered for convenience, but they are loaded with refined starches, added sugars, and unhealthy fats. Each bite triggers a spike in insulin, making it easier for the body to stash fat deep in the abdomen, right where it is hardest to lose. But the food environment is just one piece of the puzzle. Stress levels are running high. On average, adults in midlife score around 19 out of 40 on the perceived stress scale, well into the moderate range. Chronic stress keeps cortisol elevated, nudging fat cells to cluster around the waistline. Add in sleep deprivation. Most people clock just 6.4 hours a night, far short of what the body needs. When sleep suffers, hunger hormones go haywire, cravings rise, and belly fat becomes even more stubborn. Then there is the breakfast story. For decades, the slogan "breakfast is the most important meal of the day" echoed through ads and cereal boxes. That slogan did not come from nutrition science. It started as a marketing push by John Harvey Kellogg in the early 1900s to sell more cereal. The 3-meal-a-day rhythm became gospel, even as new research shows that skipping breakfast, when done thoughtfully, does not lead to overeating or weight gain. It is a perfect storm: ultra-processed foods everywhere, constant stress, too little sleep, and a cultural script telling us to eat from the moment we wake up. These habits are not just personal choices, they are baked into modern life, shaping hormones and locking fat around the belly. Understanding this environment is the first step toward finding a smarter, more sustainable solution. Intermittent fasting isn't one size fits all. At its core, it is about dividing each day or week into periods when you eat and periods when you do not. The most popular approach is called 16-8, 16 hours of fasting, followed by an 8-hour eating window. For many people, that means skipping breakfast, having lunch at noon, and finishing dinner by 8 p.m. Another method, the 5-2 plan, looks a little different. You eat normally 5 days a week, then on 2 non-consecutive days, you cut calories down to about 500 or 600. There is also alternate day fasting, often called ADF, where you alternate between days of regular eating and days of very low calorie intake, or complete fasting. Each of these schedules is built around the same principle, giving your body extended breaks from food. The timing is not random. These windows are designed to let insulin levels drop long enough for your body to finally tap into stored fat. especially the kind that sits deep around your organs. Whether you choose 16-8, 5-2, or ADF, the key is consistency. Each protocol offers a different rhythm, but all share one goal: to create clear boundaries between eating and fasting so your body can shift gears and start burning belly fat from the inside out. Hour by hour, the biology of fasting unfolds like a carefully timed sequence. After the last bite, insulin, the body's master gatekeeper, rises to handle the flood of incoming sugars and starches. But as the clock ticks past the 10-hour mark without food, something remarkable happens. Insulin levels, once high and in charge, begin to plummet, dropping by as much as 60 to 80% from their peak. With insulin out of the way, the lock on fat cells starts to loosen. This is the metabolic pivot point, the moment when the body shifts from storing fuel to burning it. Inside each cell, a new set of players takes the stage. AMPK, the cell's energy sensor, flips on like a spark plug when fuel runs low. It tells the body to stop building and start breaking down. mTOR, the growth switch, powers down. Autophagy, the cell's built-in recycling crew, kicks in, clearing out old proteins and damaged parts. This cascade is not just about weight loss, it is a deep clean at the cellular level, making the body more efficient. Most people do not realize this, but the stubborn belly fat that clings to the midsection is especially sensitive to these hormonal changes. As insulin falls, the gates open, and fat stored deep in the abdomen finally becomes available for burning. It is not just about eating less, it is about giving the body time to unlock the vault. That is why the 10 to 12-hour window is so critical. Miss it, and the metabolic switch never flips. Reach it, and the biology of fat loss starts working in your favor. MR. Eye scans reveal what the scale cannot. In clinical trials, time-restricted eating, using an 8-hour eating window for 12 weeks, has been shown to shrink the dangerous fat deep inside the abdomen. Most people expect to see big changes on the bathroom scale, but the real action is happening beneath the surface. Imaging studies show that even when total weight loss is modest, visceral fat can drop by about 4 to 6% in just 3 months. That is not a guess. It is a measured change, confirmed by gold standard MRI, the same technology used to track tumors and diagnose liver disease. Alternate day fasting protocols, which involve fasting every other day, sometimes reach double-digit losses, up to 12 to 15% visceral fat reduction, but these require a much stricter routine and are not for everyone. What matters here is the proof. The body's most stubborn fat responds to fasting windows in ways that standard diets rarely match. Even when the number on the scale barely budges, MRI shows a visible thinning of the fat that surrounds the liver and pancreas. These numbers are not just impressive. They confirm that intermittent fasting changes the body from the inside out. Even with the science on your side, slipping up is common, and it's not just about willpower. One of the biggest traps is overcompensating during the eating window. After a long fast, hunger hormones surge, and it's easy to reach for calorie-packed foods or oversized portions. That quick fix sends insulin spiking again, slamming the gate shut on fat burning before it really begins. Another common pitfall is relying on ultra-processed snacks or sugary drinks just because they fit inside the window. These choices keep insulin high and sabotage the body's efforts to tap into belly fat. Sleep and stress can quietly undermine everything too. Chronic stress raises cortisol by as much as 30%, signaling the body to stash fat right where it is hardest to lose. Poor sleep makes cravings stronger and can even slow your resting metabolic rate by 5 to 15%. No wonder about 30% of people drop out of fasting plans within a few months. The real challenge isn't just sticking to a schedule, it's making sure your habits support the biology you are trying to unlock. Success with intermittent fasting isn't about strict rules or counting every calorie. It's about a handful of simple principles that work with your biology, not against it. Start with timing. Aim for an eating window that begins earlier in the day. Think breakfast or lunch as your first meal, and wrap up dinner before the evening winds down. This pattern lines up with your natural circadian rhythm, making it easier for your body to burn fat and keep hormones balanced. Next, Focus on protein. Getting at least 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight each day helps you feel full, protects muscle, and supports steady fat loss. Fill the rest of your plate with whole foods, vegetables, whole grains, healthy fats, and skip the ultra-processed snacks that send insulin soaring. Hydration matters too. Drink plenty of water, and if your fasting window lasts more than 16 hours, consider adding electrolytes to keep energy up. Resistance training, just 2 or 3 sessions a week, can help preserve muscle and boost your metabolism. And don't just watch the scale. Use a tape measure around your waist every couple of weeks. That's where real change shows up first. The goal isn't perfection, it's consistency, flexibility, and building habits that fit your real life. Right now, over 70 million North Americans carry excess belly fat, risking heart disease, diabetes, and more. But biology isn't destiny. Small changes in when and how we eat can shift the odds. The real breakthrough? It's not about restriction, it's about timing. What will you change first?